What up, family? I'm sneaking and making this video at work to say that if you're bored of life or the things that you're doing in life and you're not getting any satisfaction out of life, maybe the dopamine ain't hitting the same, the serotonin ain't hitting the same, what you need to do is detox from whatever vices you partake in. It could be anything. It could be video games. If you watch sports and you're tired of sports, it could be smoking weed, it could be drinking, whatever your vice is. And I know the two latter things are more substances, so those are harder to quit. But if you have hobbies or you have things that you do on a day-to-day basis and you've been doing them for years consistently, even beating off, all right, I know the no fap guys gonna love to hear this. You gotta take a fucking break. You gotta detox from whatever's giving your wherever you get your dopamine from, wherever you get your pleasure from, you have to take a break from it. You do. And the reason is because if you do it consistently in order to get that dopamine, in order to get that fix, let's say video games, for instance. Video games offer these micro dopamine hits every time you play them. You unlock something, you get a dopamine hit. You get a kill, you get a dopamine hit. You know what I'm saying? You win a game, you get a dopamine hit. It may be small and incremental because you're used to playing the game, but it's still a dopamine hit. And over time, if you keep getting all this dopamine to the brain, everything else becomes, you become desensitized to everything else. So when people say, well, video games are not as good as they used to be, it's because they've been playing them for 20 years straight without breaks, right? Anytime I've ever taken a break from video games and come back, they've been better than ever, because when I was growing up, video games didn't have as much content as they do now. Even though they sell you a lot of stuff on the back end, a lot of times the base level stuff is amazing, but yet a lot of people who have become desensitized to the content will tell you video games are worse than ever. It's because they don't take a break, especially when you watch some of these gaming channels who play every single release that's released and talk about it. Of course, you're going to become jaded and, you're not going to want to partake in that. If you touch yourself on a regular basis, if you're addicted to porn, you know that if you take breaks, even if you take a week off and then come back to it, it's like you've never watched it before a day in your life. It's like, oh my God, this is amazing. It could be the same scenes that you've been getting off to for the last few months. You take a week off from that and you come back to it, guess what? It's gonna feel great again. So if you're bored of life, take that week, just a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe at a time it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, to detox yourself from whatever's giving you dopamine. I'm not trying to judge you on whatever your vice is. If your vice is a destructive vice to your body and to your environment, the people around you, if you out here, bumping meth, stay off that shit if you can. You know what I'm saying? If you out here doing destructive things like, riding on the opposite side of the freeway or riding at night with your lights off because you are edgelord or whatever, don't do that, right? I'm trying not to judge, like I say, people's vices, but it was just on my spirit to say that if you feel like life has become mundane, like you're like in this routine that you can't escape, cut out what gives you pleasure and then come back to it. I'm just saying, you will be better off for it. At least that's been my experience. And I'm gonna do it with you. Like this week, for instance, I'm not smoking, not drinking, none of that. I'm gonna go through the whole week. I'm not gonna be looking at no nudie movies, no adult movies. I'm not gonna be, doing this whole dopamine overload that I do to myself. You know what I'm saying? I do say substitute it with something else. Like, so for this week, since I'm not smoking, since I'm not drinking, I still have to be able to enjoy life. So what am I doing? Playing video games. I'm going to be playing some Fortnite. Of course, I'm going to be making these videos. But for the most part, I'm going to be trying to get up to level 100 in Fortnite. And that's going to be my goal. And going to the gym, because I've been neglecting the gym. Even though I don't weigh nowhere near as much as I want, I'm going to be hitting the gym again to keep my muscles intact. It's supposed to be starting to get cold tomorrow. I'm not liking that. Everybody here is celebrating. It's getting cold. It's getting cold. Y'all know me. I hate the cold, but starting tomorrow, it's going to start getting a little bit brisk. It was windy this morning, but it wasn't cold. So it's going to be a lot harder for me to motivate myself to get up and go to the gym after work or before work or whatever the case may be. But I'm going to do it because we got to get it in. But yeah, if you're finding yourself bored of life in any way, shape, or form, or bored of the things that you do in life, just take a break and come back to it. I promise, you'll come back and you will enjoy those things once again. Maybe not as much as you did when you were young, but you will realize, okay, this is why I enjoy doing X, Y, and Z. All right, y'all. I just had to put this one up. Bye-bye.